This is Braun Strowman, the monster among men, and you're listening to the Pop Culture Podcast with your host,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special Val's Pals Go to War edition of the BCP. And right now, welcoming to the show ahead of his match against Brandon Kirk, just recently announced for the Synergy Heavyweight Championship. He is a Chad Minez mouthpiece for standalone wrestling. He's a Chad Minez guy. Let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the very handsome Mr. Jay Curcio. Jay, how are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good, man. You know, all things considered, 2020 has been crazy, man. More importantly, how have you been? How's the family? How's everyone making out in this crazy 2020?
Sucked. I remember, so in the beginning of the year, like, I started getting all these bookings, and then one thing led to another and everything. So then I lost all my bookings. Shows were canceled. And then, I work in the food industry, so I never lost my job. So I'm very grateful for that. But I remember when it was like it was like a zombie apocalypse driving down the road. Like, nobody's out. Like, everybody's crazy. So after a few months, things started to feel kind of normal, especially with wrestling coming back and just everything opening up.
Yeah, man, that's good to hear, man. And I'm super appreciative to have events like, you know, Val's Pals. Everyone's coming together for a great kid, a great family, great cause. It's an outdoor event, socially distanced event. Guys, get your tickets now. Shameless promo. But I'm so excited for this Saturday, October 3rd in Ocean Gate, New Jersey. Now, Jay, I first saw you a couple months ago at one of these outdoor shows where you kind of came out and you are now the mouthpiece for Chad Minez and standalone wrestling. What was it like for you to get that tap on the shoulder from a guy who's a pillar of this show, and I owe so much to, Mr. Chad Minez?
Oh, man. Chad definitely, we just clicked. We just talked at the perfect time. Like, things couldn't have been more perfect, the way things rolled out and the way, like, when I hit him up and we reached out to each other, and right away he had an idea. And so far, I think it's amazing. So far, I think he's definitely highly invested in it, and he's about it. So, I mean, we're just going to keep the momentum running.
Yeah, he's a guy. And like I said, Jay, you're very lucky. I mean, like I always say, Chad, everything he touches really does turn to gold. Breeder of TV talent for sure. And we're very appreciative of him. But I do want to talk about this match. October 3rd, again, at Val's Pals Go to War. Tickets are still available. Against Brandon Kirk, just hours ago, recently announced for that Synergy heavyweight championship from our good friend Colin West. That's amazing. I mean, the ante just gets bigger and bigger. Now, I know you have a beef with Brandon. You know, Casey, obviously a friend of the show as well. So what's going on here? Where's the tension coming from? What's your mindset going into this one?
There was already a lot. There was already a lot on the line when this match was first announced, especially me coming in and just making a statement and making a name for myself. So right then and there, to come at someone like Brandon Kirk, who has a resume that's out of this world, all props to him. Yeah. It's just, there was a lot on the line to begin with. And then for Colin, to put the belt on the line, it makes it definitely that much more higher.
That's amazing, man. You hit it right on that. What would it mean to you to win that Synergy Wrestling heavyweight championship?
Oh, man, it would just put the icing on the cake at this point. I mean, I'm already showing up at shows and beating people up anyway, so why not show up at a show and take a belt?
Yeah, big W over the names of or the likes, I should say, of a Brandon Kirk. Definitely hardcore legend for sure around these parts. Now, I usually ask everyone, you know, not to be cliche, kind of their origin story in the business. But, you know, off air, we were kind of talking about it. You said this isn't like your first time around. You were in the business. You kind of stepped away from it. And now this is kind of like the reboot, the return, the revenge. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that story.
So I backyard wrestled just like 90% of the people that get into wrestling. Yeah. I was 17. And I met a few people, one of them being Joe Gacy. So I met Joe Gacy at 17, told me to come to, CW, try it out, give a tryout. They have a school. Everything's awesome. It's not bad. So I was like, okay, let me give it a try. So me and my cousin and my other friend show up. We did the tryout at Best of the Best. I think it's 10. It's the one, whatever one Ego won. People know that one. Yeah. Did the tryout there. Show was awesome right then and there. And it was at the arena. So I was like, wow, I get to train at the arena to become a pro wrestler. This is phenomenal. So So I trained from 17. Funny thing, funny thing real quick. So you had to be 18 to train to be a pro wrestler in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
So I had to forge my parents' signature, and they had no idea about this.
There it is.
I forged the signature and took the train down 3 times a week to train. So I did that for a few years. I was trained by Drew Gulak, the Black G Sabian, DJ Hyde, Sammy Callahan. So that list.
Nice. Yeah. Love it, man.
So then I got like to the age of 20, did the whole, people kind of like grow up and they go, oh, I can't do this forever. Let me try. And then I go to school. I played soccer. So like I went to college for soccer. So that was definitely
Cool.
huge. Did soccer, did work. And I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to know. And that's where the reboot came. And the reboot was probably like 25. I would say, like 25. So it slowly trickled and I was just working to work. I was like, oh, whatever. And then I was like, if I'm going to take this serious, I need to take this serious.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And it's good to see you back. It's good to see you doing well. If I can touch on this, man, I think you've been very open about it on YouTube. You had a nice video where you kind of reached out to people talking about some of the hard times that you've been through in your life. I know a lot of people are having hard times in 2020. And you were kind of talking about people going through depression and stuff like that. Anything you want to say to anyone that might be having a hard time?
Sure. So 3 years ago, it was 3 years ago in February, I lost my dad with a week's notice. He had cancer, didn't even know about it. Boom. Then 3 months later, I lost my mom to a broken heart.
Oh.
Yeah. So that sucked. It was awful. I had to like find a place to live. Luckily, I had good friends, and that made it super easy. And then I was like even talking to a girl at the time, and then like right after all that, I was like, oh my God, this is awful.
It's tough.
Go to the gym. I just had no urge for anything. It sucked. It was awful.
Yeah.
It's no fun. And that's why I was like, let me see if I can just open up to people and see. And it was crazy. I remember doing the video, posting it, and turning my phone off. I was like, I don't want to see the notifications. I don't want to deal with this for like 2 days. But I mean, after that, it definitely got better. There was a lot of support, a lot of people. And then every time I saw someone post something, I reach out. I said, hey, man. I mean, it gets better. It really does. And especially this year alone, so between losing jobs, like it's awful.
Yeah.
It's a time where people are just bothered by everything.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy, because when I see that, you're a guy, got a great look, great talent in the ring, you think this guy has it all for sure. But, we all go through stuff, man. And I always appreciate it when people who have a platform like yourself always reach out to the fans and reach out to the people to say like, hey, we all go through this stuff and we're here for each other. And it goes both ways. So I applaud you for that, sir. Very good job on that. And more importantly, what the fans really want to know about, I believe I've been seeing a lot of videos and Instagram posts with your dog. Tell us a little bit. Is it your dog that I keep seeing?
That's right here.
Oh, who's this? All right. We love dog. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she's part pit bull and chihuahua. So that's why she's tiny pit bull. I literally got her right after my dad passed away. And like she's like been amazing since. Right?
That's great. I get that, man. Like that's great. And I saw her and I was like, is she a pit bull? But then I was like, no, she's too small. So that's interesting. Yeah. She looks like a sweetie though. I know a lot of really nice pit bulls. They get a bad rap sometimes, but they can be sweet.
I know some pit bulls and they're just great.
It's crazy that they get a bad rap, but she is a sweetheart, man. And as someone who's as you say, you go through things in life, not to get too deep, but like you get misplaced or you change your logistics, whatever it is, you want to give some poor soul a home. So I totally get that. I think I'm probably going to rescue some poor soul down the line. She's a cutie though. But let's get back to we're getting deep here, man. Let's take it back to the wrestling. It's getting real. So you did mention off air that you've worked with Gacy, but you never really had that match with Joe Gacy. Friend of the show, we love Gacy. I got his mask signed over there. That's one of my favorite pieces in the Bob Cave here. Tell us a little bit about that recent match and working with the likes of a Joe Gacy.
I mean, Joe's someone that like every time I showed back up at training, he was there. Every time I showed up at a show, he was there. I would even hit him up. I'd be like, hey, what bookings do you have this month? I want to meet up. And he would give them to me. And then he was always open arms. No matter how much time I took off or like the day I like met back up with him, it was just like this. And I would say recently, the last 2 years, me and Joe got really close. And like I talk to him all the time. Like I've seen him every time I'll see Amy post something and it's like near me, I'm right down in there. I go right away to meet up with him because he's just such a good guy. And then once we did the match, I remember I was like, oh man, this is good. I was like nervous. And it wasn't like even at like a really big show or anything, but like it was just so cool to actually finally get into the ring with him.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And good dude. We love Gacy and wish him all the best, continued success moving forward. I think he's going to be a show stealer moving forward.
Great.
And I wish you the best as well, sir. What are kind of your goals moving forward? You know, maybe more so with opponents in the independents, and then maybe more so on that main street grand stage of them all. You know, Wrestlemania, being on TV. What are the short-term goals and the long-term goals?
I mean, when you're younger, it's always WWE. That's what it's always been. But now that you get older and there's literally just so much wrestling, you can make a living on the independents. Of course, everybody wants their WrestleMania moment, which I would love to have, or their Dynamite moment or whatever it is now. But I mean, I just want to work for the biggest companies. And like that's where I want to start with. First, I want to work great. Like there's definitely a few guys I definitely want to get back in the ring with. But then besides that, it's just big shows. Like this show alone, this Saturday is like a milestone. Like I feel like it's like a huge show, and it's crazy. Just like with the names on that, like even being in the locker room with certain people, like I think that's like definitely something.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. It's a big show, and especially these days, you know, we'll take what we can get. There aren't really arena shows anymore. There aren't really sports shows we can really go to. So wrestling, you know, first name drop here, but you know, Tommy Dreamer was on the show recently. He said the world stopped, but wrestling didn't, and I'm very appreciative of that. And I love seeing all you guys in that community, and we're all doing it for a great cause. So that's fantastic. Now, you mentioned there's some guys you want to get in the ring with. Are you talking in terms of just the indie talent, or maybe hypothetically, who would be some of the television names that you would, you know, ideally want to get in the ring with, maybe past, present, future?
So my biggest thing is like I always wanted to get into like my trainers. So even like the Black G's, I would love to just get into the ring with him because he's just someone that trained me. So I think that's awesome. If I had a tag team, if I was in a tag team, I would love to work the Rep. Just because I guys, they started a few months just before me. So to see where they came from is just ridiculous.
Somebody sign those guys, please.
Yeah, right. Drew Gulak, I would love to get in the ring with. Right now, I mean, even like some people, like I would just like Eddie Kingston, like just people that are just blowing, just all over the place right now. I would just love to get in the ring with.
It's a great answer. Arguably the best mouthpiece in the business today. Gacy's former partner, for sure. Hands down. Say you did make it, and I believe you will, man. Your Chad Minez product, which is always a great thing, man. You got the jetpack on you right now. I truly believe that. Chad's been so good to us, and you know we see him working with the names of the Gacy, who's now is just very, you know, on his way to success. We're so happy for him. But say you do, which I'm sure you will, make it to that grandest stage of them all one day, a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever it is. You're walking your way down the ring at WrestleMania. Hopefully there'll be live crowds. What band is playing you out to the ring?
I mean, if it was up to me, I would go with the theme I have now, just because I think it clicks perfect. But I mean, that wouldn't be up to me. That would be up to them.
Oh, what a politically correct answer. I love it. Yeah, whatever you say, Mr. McMahon. There you go. That's right. You got it, man. And then, so what area are you from originally?
I live in Northeast Philly.
You are a Philly guy. Okay, is that born and raised?
Yep, my whole life.
Okay. So we always ask the Philly people, well, two questions. Have you run the Rocky Steps? And what is the best Philly cheesesteak spot?
I have run the Rocky Steps. And the best, not Pat's or Gino's, because I'm from Philly, so I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be Steve's.
Steve's, where's that?
Steve's is right on Comley and the Boulevard.
Okay. I write them all down. We just had Gabby Ortiz on, and she's Philly too. She says basically when you're born in Philly, you just run the steps immediately. And then she had a couple good steak spots, and they're never like, don't go to the tourist traps. You got to go to the good ones.
Garbage.
And I don't think we touched on this yet, but you know, did you watch as a kid, and like who were like your guys?
Oh my God, my whole life I watched it. I remember my brother used to watch it, and that's how I used to get to watch it. It would be SmackDown on Thursday nights on UPN. I loved I loved the Hardy Boys, of course. They were definitely my favorite tag team. Shawn Michaels. I mean, I feel like that's definitely someone. And then I would say AJ Styles.
Yeah, I can see a lot of that in your performance, and that they all kind of fit that mold of guys that I love who just have like such a mix of like that technical yet storytelling yet a little bit of that daredevil in them. So that's a great answer. Are those guys you would hypothetically want to face one day that are still going strong?
Definitely, AJ Styles would be probably number one.
Yeah, that's a good. Oh man, I don't know if you saw that ladder match on Sunday. It's really. Oh, check it out, man! If you get a chance, the triple threat. It was
Ring of Honor, and that's where I really clicked with them. Like I would go to the Armory that was like a 10-minute walk from my house once a month to see Ring of Honor.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. And again today, we're very thankful to have any sort of wrestling, even on TV where we have like the Thunderdome. I'm appreciative of that just to kind of give that live feel. Yeah. So yeah, it's great. It's awesome, man. And what would you say, being someone who's done this before, we call this the revenge, the part 2 of Jay Curcio. What would you say to someone who wants to get into the business? Any advice you would have for some of these up and comers?
The biggest thing, it's always going to be there. I feel like there's really no rush. I mean, there's people that pour everything into it, and that's awesome. And then there's plenty of people that took breaks, and there's people that didn't join until they were like 40. Damian Priest, I think, was like 38 when Ring of Honor signed him. Yeah. Do it now. Look, so and that's what I really like. It really clicked. PCO, like, there's just times where people are around for a while, and then they just need that certain gimmick or that certain attitude or that certain momentum or that certain push that just takes off.
Absolutely, man. No, you hit that right on the head. And lastly, I do want to be respectful of your time, Jay. This is really, really cool. Well, actually, I want to ask you this first. A little bit of a fan question here. You mentioned you're a big gamer. What are you playing right now?
Oh, right now I'm playing Madden, but I did last week or 2 weeks ago Tony Hawk, so I am replaying that.
And classic. One of the best soundtracks. Do you play music or anything like that?
Soundtrack right away. That's the first thing you play it for. You skip to your favorite song, which is Superman by
Superman, right?
And yes. Then go through the whole track, and you just keep going and going and going.
I love it, man. That's great to hear. And Jay, tell everyone where they can follow you on social media, all that good stuff. But I posted a picture with you today, man, and within minutes, just comment. So a lot of people are hyped for this interview. Where can everyone follow you, man?
Yeah. So Instagram is J_Curcio, and then Facebook is Jay Curcio. I suck at Twitter, and I wish I was better because it's such a good like outsource to get in like on shows, but I just can't. It just doesn't click for me. Twitter. I wish it did.
Yeah, no, I got you. But Jay, thank you again for a few minutes of your time real quick. And before we get out of here, just I know you had some kind words earlier to say, but anything you want to say to the fans that are kind of considering coming to Val's Pals on Saturday?
Oh, there should be no considering. Like, I'm telling you right now, this Saturday is probably going to be the biggest independent wrestling show in the year. After all this happened and like all the time that people took and just limiting seating, this is literally number one for such a great cause. And I met Val in January for the first time, I believe. I think that's the first time I met the family. It was at some indie show. I won't say because Chad's gonna yell.
Yeah, understood. Yep.
No, but I met them there, and then just between the year, like it's rough for everyone. So like just all this build up with all the goddesses, all the Titan shows. There's so much build up with it. There's so many huge names. You're going to want to be at this. Like there's there's like no questions asked. Like if you're not doing anything Saturday, you need to come to Ocean Gate to see Val's Pals Go to War because it's going to be ridiculous. Until I walk out through the curtain or after my match, I'm going to be glued to watching it. And
dude, very well said. And maybe after that match, you'll be holding that Synergy heavyweight title.
Definitely, it's going to be right around my waist.
There it is.
Brandon will be. I mean, I know she has a match now, and I hope Mimi beats her, which is going to happen.
Oh, Casey is not going to be happy when she sees this. Oh, man, a lot of real talk. But, Jay, I very much appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for opening up about a few things, and continued success moving forward, my man.
Oh, for sure, man. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Always an honor, man. Thank you so much. We'll see you Saturday at Val's Pals Go to War. And like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, Take care of each other. We are out. Peace.
Peace.